As you guys saw yesterday, we got the RV uncovered, and just like typical Ohio fashion, all of a sudden tomorrow night we're going to get 2 to 4 inches of snow. Not rain, snow. But as you can tell, I'm shooting a little bit different perspective than I did normally with my action cam, and that's what this video is about. Let's talk about cameras and how to get started on YouTube.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream. Not a big deal. It's really easy to do, but there's definitely a better way to do things compared to when I first started. When I first started, I had a little point and shoot camera. It was really horrible. And throughout the years, as the technology got better, I would buy a new camera, I would get rid of the old ones, and over thousands of dollars, I've gotten to the point where I have some decent cameras, but the technology is always getting better every day. The good thing about someone that might want to start YouTube right now as an RVer, because it's a really good way to stay connected with your family and friends and to share what you see, you can do it so much easier. Now, I'm shooting with a Sony action cam, and I'm going to put the link down below. Don't pay attention to the links that are over here in the toolbar that YouTube's putting up pictures of. The link's down below for this action cam that I have, and this is the camera that I shoot almost all my video with. Now, I'm using the built-in microphone now. Normally I have an external mic that I might plug into it. It has a lot of options as far as batteries. You can plug into the back to give it extra battery life. You can do time-lapse with this. You can do a slow motion with it. It has a remote that comes off of the camera. You can hold the remote. You see what you're shooting. You can stop and start the video. You can change menu options, and it can do it from a distance. You can actually turn on a Wi-Fi booster and put it out, outside your camper, maybe on a tree, and you can start and stop whenever you see maybe wildlife that's coming by and you want to capture it. Really nice feature to have on a camera. The best thing about this one is you see it's a wide angle. It covers a large area, and it's not that far away from me. I can reach up and touch the lens there, and you can see how wide it spreads out. The other thing is not only does it have digital image stabilization, but it has optical image stabilization, meaning that there's something physical inside the camera that moves as you walk to help keep the lens steady. That's the way to go if you got shaky hands. It does a really good job. So you don't necessarily have to buy a gimbal. If you bought a gimbal with this camera, you should be able to go through a mild earthquake and not shake your scene, which is really good. The camera's kind of expensive though. I think they're still running right around $500, but you can shoot in 4K. You can shoot, in my case, I always shoot in 1080, 60 frames per second. That seems to be a pretty nice format as far as YouTube's concerned, and uploading videos, not using too much. And again, it's just a good all-around camera. But if you don't want to get into just a standalone camera, and again, $500, for just a little bit more money, you can buy yourself a really good cell phone that not only will shoot video, not quite as good as this, but pretty darn good, especially if you have it on a tripod, which we'll see here in just a minute. But it will also allow you to do all the things that a phone needs to do. I mean, my camera will not make a call. My camera won't text my friends. The camera will stream live video, but it's a lot easier to do on a phone. And it'll stream to multiple platforms where the camera only does it to one. The other thing that the phone does that the camera won't do and can't do is allow me, once we're out camping, to upload my videos using my phone as a hotspot. Now, you have to check with your data, your cell plan, if you can do hotspot type things. But again, for the extra additional money to get into a really good smartphone, you might want to do that instead. Again, just starting out, it's really easy to do. One of the best pieces of advice that I ever seen online whenever I was starting to get into YouTube was somebody asked the question, which camera should I get? What's the best camera for shooting YouTube videos? Well, the best camera for shooting YouTube videos is the one you have. And I mean the one you have on you. I've been stuck in a lot of situations where we've gone out and I didn't bring my camera, but I have my cell phone. if you've got your cell phone, you can shoot the video, you can capture the video, because it's all about sharing, not only on YouTube, but also on Facebook and maybe Instagram too. A good smartphone will do that. So if you're kind of a tech person like I am and you like to buy high-tech gadgets, it's okay if you want to buy a camera and a phone. However, you can get by with just a phone. Now, as far as phones, I'm going to talk from my own personal experience. And don't get me wrong, there's other brands, but so far I've been really happy with the Samsung brand, and it's been a really good brand for me. And the main reason we went with it is because of the cameras. Now, we started our Samsung experience with the Samsung Galaxy S7 Edge. My daughter had a Note 5, and I played around with that a little bit, and it was really nice, and I liked it. So we went ahead and we jumped into the S7 Edges, and they were great phones. Now, back then they were just over $600 a piece, and I used them a lot. Whenever it got time for us to upgrade, because finally a better camera came out that I felt it was worth the money, we went ahead and upgraded to Samsung Galaxy Note 8s. The Note 8 has a couple of lenses on it. It has a fingerprint sensor that's up there for security. It has a stylus that comes out the bottom, helps my big fat hands when I take notes or need to write something down. There's a lot of features in this phone that are incredible. When we got the Note 8s, decided that we would keep one of the phones as a backup phone for two reasons. One, it only cost me 20 bucks a month for an additional line, and I've got 10 gigabytes of data I get a month with that phone. Plus, if I don't use any of that data, it carries over. So potentially when we go out camping, I might have 20 gigabytes that I can use as a hotspot on that phone, so I can watch videos or upload videos. So it's really nice to have, and at $20 it was well worth it. The other thing is if Heidi's got her phone and she's searching and doing her things and keeping up with comments from you guys and maybe posting on Facebook, and I've got my phone and I might want to look up something as far as gas prices or something along the line whenever we're traveling and we pull over, maybe I want to look up a truck stop or a rest stop or something like that. The extra phone that we kept, the S7 Edge, we went ahead and put that on the dash, and we used it to stream music to my stereo in my truck, and we used it for the Waze app. That was a dedicated app to go in addition to my GPS. It tells you where the police are and where road hazards are and stuff like that, and it's just a nice thing to have. We didn't have to tie up our phones with that, and we didn't have to use up our phone data because that phone has its own data plan. So that's why we had it. Now, my other S7 Edge, my personal one, I went ahead and just sold outright. Now, it was maybe a year and a half old, and I got $275 out of it after I sat on it for about a month. And that was in pristine condition. It had all of the components that came with it originally, the headphones, the charger, the little dongle that plugs into the bottom of it, and all the paperwork, everything. And again, I only got $275 out of it, but it kept almost half of its value after a year and a half, almost 2 years' time. So I was kind of concerned with our backup S7 Edge, the one we use on our dash, that the fact that it was going to just keep on losing value as time went along, and I wish there was some way I could get around that. So although I'm very happy with the Note 8s, we got a notification, and again, this is something your carrier may do. They have promotions all the time like this, just like T-Mobile. We got a notification from our carrier that says, hey, your old S7 Edge, we'll give you $360 for it if you buy a new Samsung Galaxy S9 or S9 Plus, like I got this one as an S9 Plus. Well, I can jump on that fast enough, and it's purely because of a mathematical thing. Here I had a phone that I knew in the open retail market in perfect condition, sitting on it for a month and a half trying to get top dollar. I only got $275 for it. So if I got somebody willing to pay me $360 for it, I'm definitely going to do that. Although this is over $800. It made it to where the price came down considerably, and this phone's going to hold its value for the next year and a half to 2 years. It's going to fall off like the previous S7, but it's just like the Note 8. They're all going to fall off, so you're not going to ever have a phone that gains money, especially in the electronics world where stuff falls off right away as far as pricing. The other reason that I went with this is because we have a better camera even than before with the Note 8. It's not much better, but it is better. It has more features. Not only that, but this operates on that faster frequency that is only available on T-Mobile. This is the first phone to offer that. So that is nice. That's going to make my connections, maybe when we're out and about, a little bit easier to do. The other thing is the phone, as far as it's shooting video, and I don't shoot a lot of video in this capture category, but it does offer 4K at 60 frames per second. It also has a slow motion mode. There's a lot of nice things about it. So what kind of comparison are we going to get here? Well, let me go ahead and shoot some video starting on the Note 8 so you can see what that's like. First we'll do a freehand, we'll look outside, we'll listen to all the traffic, and then we'll set it up on a tripod and I'll talk to you and you can decide what you think about that. So let's go ahead and go to that phone first. Now I apologize for a lot of the noise going on because I still have the furnace running in here in that little heater, so we got quite a bit of noise, but you can see the camera here and the adjustment, how good of a shot it has. It does a really good job. I'm shooting to be fair, so I can have a fair assessment of this camera in the same 1080 60 frames per second that the action cam is. And of course I'll do the same thing with the other camera too, the S9 camera here. But yeah, you can see it's a cloudy day, but it shoots pretty good video and it's got pretty good quality. And there's some nice things that you can do. You can actually change the lens to where you're actually a lot closer to things without using a digital zoom, which digital zooms kind of ruin the picture. But again, not a bad camera, I mean, on its own. And I do have the image stabilization on. It's windy and I am shaking it a little bit. I don't know how much it's capturing, but we'll go ahead and do a video now inside here. Now, as you can see, the angle is cut down considerably, and I have the camera placed in the exact same place as the action cam. I do have it a little bit lower, but it is in the same place. So your field of view is much more narrower, but you can still see the quality. Now, the audio is probably pretty decent. It's not anything crazy. I would probably use an external microphone, which you can do with these cameras easily. You can actually do external monitors even, which is really nice. You can plug in using an HDMI to USB conversion with the dongle that they provide with the phones, and you can see what you're shooting with the rear-facing camera. And that's what we're using right now, is the rear-facing camera. The quality of this is a little bit better than the front-facing camera, but I will show you what that looks like so you know what selfie would look like when you're shooting live video. So let's flip around this Note 8. That's what we're shooting with now. We'll flip it around and we'll do a front-facing camera, and you can get an idea of what that looks like. So now you see me flipped around. I can see myself talking. What a great treat that is, huh? And as far as the adjustment, I can make some more lighting adjustments in that, but right now I just have it on automatic, and it does a good job. Again, I don't know how the audio sounds, but I do have a lot of noise. We have road noise, the traffic going by. We have the furnace that is running, and we have that little heater that's running over there too. So this should give you an idea of how much external noise is protruding on your video and what you're capturing. But as far as the camera is concerned, and as far as shooting video, you can do this. You can do just this to start on YouTube. So let's go ahead and jump over to the S9. And again, I don't know how much you're going to notice the difference as far as the video that this thing shoots, but there might be a little bit. So I'll go ahead and do an outside shot just like I did with this phone, and then we'll come back inside and do a shot like this, and we'll see what you guys think. All right, same thing. I don't know if you could tell. Look how fast that changes. Watch how dark it is in here, and then when I go outside, watch how fast it changes. I mean, it's almost seamless, where the other camera, it took a second. Again, good quality. Nothing incredibly outrageous. I mean, I'm not shooting in 4K, so you're not going to go, wow, that's the best picture I've ever seen if you're on a 4K TV. But it does shoot pretty good video. Again, I do have the image stabilization turned on. It's still not as good as the action cam, but it does a pretty good job. And again, just like the other camera, it has two lenses, so I could zoom in if I wanted. It has a digital zoom, but I don't really care for that too much. Now this does have a slow motion, but I've never really been able to see much good that does. So you know what, just for fun, let me go ahead and show you the slow motion. Alright, so you saw the slow motion stuff there. It's a little finicky. You have to be really up close with something. Maybe I'll try to do some better lighting with something else. And it is a lesser quality. It's like 720p, but it's a feature. It's something there. The problem is I can shoot in really fast footage, and then whenever I'm doing my video, editing my video, I can make it slow motion if I want, doing it through post-production instead of capturing with the phone. The idea is with the phone, whenever you capture it, it actually will allow you to share it right away. I mean, it's all about sharing. The other thing that this phone has, which I forgot to mention, was incredible speakers. It has Dolby Atmos dual stereo speakers on it. It's very loud, it's very clear, and of course when you're talking on the phone too, I noticed that they increased the ear volume too, which is a welcome change, because this is good. The S7 Edge is good. I've never had a problem hearing. It's just that's a little bit louder and it's a little bit nicer. So this is the video that you would capture from the rear facing camera, again shooting at 1080 60 frames per second. And now I'm going to flip it around and we'll do a front facing camera. Again, that's going to be 1080, but it's only going to be 30 frames per second. But let's see what that's like. So as you can see, it's pretty much, I think, a carbon copy of the Note 8, because quite honestly the specs are really close as far as the front facing camera goes. But again, it's just one of these things that would make it so much easier for you to start on YouTube, because these things are not that bad as far as price when you consider this is a tool that you would be using to shoot video, and it does all the other things that a phone does. Now again, there's another way around that, and that's just to buy a camera outright. And I've got actually quite a few cameras. I have another action camera that's lesser quality than this one, but it shoots 1080 60 frames per second. It does connect remotely, and I can watch it through the viewfinder. The other camera I have is a really nice little handy cam from Sony, and it has 350 times digital zoom, and it has built-in optical steady shot. It has the lens that actually moves whenever you're walking along and shooting video, and it's pretty compact. It also has a projector on it. If I want to plug something into it, I can actually project, you know, a video or a movie up on a screen. I can actually input something from my computer into the projector and use it like a movie projector. And then I have a really nice Sony camcorder that I use for a lot of our sit-down talks, and the reason is it's got a lot of settings on it that you can set it manually to help with the fade going in and out, and as far as the lighting to brighten things up so it's not so dark. Like in this case, this phone's on automatic. Let me go ahead and show you. you can see that things change as far as lighting whenever I mess around, and as far as the focus, see how it just jumped there. You know, you get a camera, and even these phones, you can do it. You can fix the focus. You can set it, go into pro mode, and you can set it to where it will not change focus no matter what's going on with my hands, how much closer I'm getting, that the focus won't change. So these phones have come so far, so far. So for the money, I would say for you to start YouTube, just jump in a phone. Now, if you have any questions or any comments, post them down below. Again, there's so many different features, so many different things that you can do with cell phones now. And starting on YouTube, especially being an RVer, traveling on the road and wanting to share all your pictures and everything you see at a flip of a switch. I mean, all you have to do is pick up these phones. Let's say I'm driving along and I've got my phone setting down and I see something that I want to capture. Maybe there's an accident. Maybe somebody's driving crazy. Maybe there's wildlife that's wandered onto the road. You pick up the phone, 2 clicks of the button, and you're on the camera. And you start shooting video. Matter of fact, you don't even have to push a button. You just say record video. See the timer? And it starts recording video. It's just that fast. So there are a lot of nice features to having something like this with you at all times, on your hip, in your purse, in your pocket. So I leave it up to you. Again, action cams are fine. That's the easiest way to start if you don't want to mess around with phones. And the action cams, they have a better battery life. They last a long time. You can shoot video for a really long time, as you guys know on my videos how long they are. It's just a personal preference. But if you decide you want to look at this action cam, again, the link will be down below. Just click the link. It'll take you right to it. You can check the pricing on it. I bought the one that came with the wrist viewfinder, or the one that actually goes onto the little tripod holder, which I bought that separately. I'll put a link to that also. But again, it's all up to you. I really don't know what to say about that. So I want to leave this to you guys. If you want to start YouTube, and if you want to do it easy, phones, I think, are the easiest way to go, because everybody's got them, and who doesn't like a new phone? I know I do. Look it, I've got a couple of them. And I appreciate you guys watching. As always, I hope to see you out there. Bye.